Uh, this won't take long, and also chapter 14, when we do that on Monday, won't take very long either. Chapter 15 will probably take 2, maybe 3 days, but we'll get done in advance. So I'm going to share the screen.
Quick question for you before
Yeah.
you start.
Mm-hmm.
So I was up this morning doing taxes.
Yeah.
And I am not sure if it was sort of confusing underneath how they're put in there for like Aspen for chapter 11. So one was Aspen and one was,
well, there
what was
should be
the other one?
what, the videos or the
There was 2 sets.
right, one is an 1120 and another one's 1120S.
Yes.
So that's really the only difference. We've got 2 Aspens and 2 Olives, and one Aspen is an 1120 and the other one's an 1120S, and then one Olive is an 1120 and the other one is an 1120S. So there's 4 returns, 2 different companies, and so we're doing 2 returns for each company as though they were a regular corporation and one a sub S. So yeah, that's how that works. So check the videos out on that if you want. They're very short.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that in tax class if you've got time for that one. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's share this. Thanks for asking. Let's share the screen. And we are in sales and service. Sales and service. Make sure you're in that company. We did chapter 13 exercise 1 yesterday, and all we had to do was add some customers, put in sales tax, and that's about it. So there was nothing that happened in our general ledger. So exercise 13.2 begins at the bottom of page 514, and the first step is to start Sage 50. I've got that done. Open sales and service. I've got that done, and then we'll record these transactions. Now we sold some inventory to Abby Carone. Abby was one of the customers we added yesterday, and if you're using your icons, you can go to customers, and then not sure where that would be, probably here in sales. But like I've been saying all day, or all semester, I cannot make heads or tails out of my icons. It just doesn't display properly. So thankfully, I can go to the ribbon and go to tasks, and then sales and invoicing. And we should end up with a screen that looks like this. Now, one of the odd things about the software is I can make the screen bigger, but I can't make the form any bigger. It doesn't get any larger, just the background, so it doesn't make much sense. In this case, we're selling some stuff to Abby, so in customer ID, you can go to the drop down or the magnifying glass. We'll click on Abby. This is on the 7th, so we'll come over here to the due date, and we'll put in January 7. Oops, went too far. The invoice number is 101. And then we jump right to the quantity field down here. On the left edge, quantity field, we sold 5 of them. And then here's where we tell them what we sold. We sold 5 tool kits, so it'll be these tools. The proper account number pops up, our price pops up, our sales tax pops up. So everything pre-fills on all this if we set up our inventory right and our customers right. So I think we're in pretty good shape here. So what this form is telling us is that we sold 5 sets of tools at $85 each for $425, including $34 of sales tax, to Abby Carone on the 7th, invoice number 101. We're going to debit accounts receivable, 11,000 is the account number, and we're going to credit sales right here, 40200. So that's what this form said, all the stuff it tells us, which is good. So I think we're done with this one. I'm going to do a save. Now you could click new if you want, but we're already at a blank screen, so we might as well stay here. Top of the next page is we've sold 3 hardware sets to Bobby Berman. Notice it says we sold on account. You know, that's code in textbooks for meaning it's we're debiting accounts receivable. So we can go to Bobby Berman here. Also on the 7th, this is invoice number. Well, okay, I'll leave the invoice move forward for us. So 1002 rolled forward for us. So okay.
Hmm.
Quantity is going to be 3. The item will be hardware. The sales account pops up for us, our price per unit, and extended price plus the sales tax. So I think we're good with Bobby Berman's invoice. So let's save that one. Then the last one is to Roberta. Also on the 7th, invoice rolled forward to 1003. And we sold her 6 hardware sets. So everything extends over, including sales tax. So I think we're pretty good there. I'm going to do a save. I can do a list real quick.
I like that list.
And that's handy, isn't it?
Yeah, I
So
like it.
if you take a look
Then
at
I
the
can go
list,
back and change some things if I did it wrong.
exactly. It's a great feature. We can take a look real briefly at the sales we input. And like you said, we can just go on and click on any one of them and fix them. But these look pretty good so far. So I'm going to click close on this and close here, because the next one is that Abby returned one of the toolkits and then she paid our remaining balance. So there's 2 transactions here. We can't do both of these on one screen. So the first one is we have to issue a credit memo to Abby because we're going to be crediting accounts receivable for her. So it'll be tasks, and then this is credit memos. It's not vendor credit memos. This is just credit memos. And we get this fun screen pop up. And it's Abby evidently is a he. I didn't know Abby was a male name.
Me
So,
either.
I don't know. Different times, huh? I had an uncle whose first name was Carol, but anyway, we've heard about that before. This happened on the 10th. Credit number, I think, did they give us that? Yeah, credit memo 101. So
Yep.
CM 101. And then we have to tell the system the credit, I mean, the invoice number that we're looking for. So we have to go down to this drop down box here, and we'll select invoice number 101 that we just input earlier. And this is the stuff that's on there, 5 toolkits, and she returned how many? 1 of them.
1. Yeah.
So we'll key in 1 in the returned item and then extend over. And it adjusts the sales tax for us. We aren't giving any purchase discounts, so we don't have to worry about adjusting any discount numbers or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what got me the last time.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. A lot of people get caught on those little dollars on that discount recount. So no big deal. But we don't have that problem here. So I think we're done with this. So I think we can do a save and then a close. And then the next transaction is she's going to pay the remaining balance, right? It says also paid the balance of invoice. So let's go to, I'm going to go to maintain, receive money. And we're going to receive money and have it deposited into Boulevard Bank. So that's okay. And our deposit ticket, I think for these 8 weeks, we're supposed to put the date in there, but it really doesn't matter that much. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Our customer ID is Abby. Check reference, did they tell us her check number that she paid us with? No. Yeah. No, they didn't tell us a check number.
No.
Or a deposit receipt number. We don't have that. I mean, those are things I'd put in there, but because if she paid you with the check, you're going to want to know that amount. Now you can key the dollar amount in here if you want, but she's just paying us the balance due. And here's the balance due right here. If you just click on this box way over to the right, it takes care of it for us. So this is if Abby owed us 8 or 10 different invoices, we could just click the ones that they're paying.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty handy personally. So I'm going to go ahead and click save on this. I want to make sure I got my date right. It's Abby. We're paying off this invoice. She paid by check. I would put in a check number here, not necessarily a receipt number, unless I wanted to identify what bank deposit slip number it was. But if you only have one bank, you know, it really doesn't matter. So I'm going to do a save. I have to enter a check reference number. All right, let's do that. I'm going to put in check number 1000. I forget what the book asked us to do earlier. I think they said put right deposit in there or something like that. But I'm going to do a save again. There we go. And the next one down, on the 14th, we received some money from Bobby Berman. So that's also a receive money window. We can do that. I'm going to put the date in here. And this is the 14th. And we're going to receive some of that from Bobby Berman. Let's put a check reference number in there. Maybe I'll just write deposit in there this time. The date, I want to make sure that my date is correct over here, the 14th. Also, it says full payment for invoice number 1002. So click on the pay button. And if I do a quick scan of things, it looks pretty good. I'm going to do a save. Then the next one, we have Sally Murphy and John Martinez. Neither one of those are customers. So now I would add them as customers, but the book doesn't tell us to. So 01/17/19. Since we don't have a customer ID, we can just type Sally's name here in the received from line, and that's Sally Murphy. And that was on the 17th. And there is no invoice here to apply it to. We have 2 tabs. This is a little different than QuickBooks, where we actually have 2 screens to go to. If we had entered an invoice for Sally, we would go to the receive money screen, or receive payments, I think, and then if it's just a cash sale, we would go to sales receipts. But in this software, you can go to the same screen and tell it, you know, was there, or the screen knows whether there was an invoice or not. So I kind of like that. Now, what did she sell us? 2 hardware sets and 2 toolkits. So we're going to apply to revenue. We're going to credit sales. She paid us, so we don't have to debit accounts receivable. We're debiting cash, and we're crediting sales. And she bought 2 hardware sets. And notice it extends all the way over. And we just click on the next line. She also bought 2 toolkits. And our Georgia sales tax pops up. Our total amount she paid us is up here in the receipt amount. Georgia sales tax is here. We wanted to make sure that she got charged for that. Be sure when you're doing this to make sure that Georgia sales tax is in here. You might have to do the drop down box and click it in there the first time. But I think we're okay with Sally. So I'm going to do a save. And then on the 18th, we sold some stuff to John Martinez. And we'll change this to the 18th. And we sold 3 toolkits. And make sure the sales tax is added here. So I think we're pretty good for John. So I'll do a save. And for some reason, my cash balance is off, but okay. Do a close. Do a refresh. Then I'll do a quick, now this makes sense, this 972 for Roberta, because she didn't pay us. Mr. Berman did. Sally and John did. Abby paid us the remaining balance. Well, let's see how bad we are. Huh, well, now it works. Not sure I understand that. If I check my check figures, cash in the bank, 67,746.63. Accounts receivable, 972. Inventory, 14,570. Sales tax payable will be over here at 193.20. Sales hardware is 1650, and sales tools 765. So I think we're in pretty good shape. So I'm going to close this, go back to business status. Yep. So my cash balance did change here. Not sure why it was showing a different name, a different number over in my sales screen, but I guess I won't argue with success. So from here, I want to.
It has something to do with saving it.
Might have. I'm sure it did. I'm not going to print anything in step 3. I'm going to go to write step 4 and just back this up. Okay, I know I asked you for a bunch of stuff here, but let's do the trial balance just for laughs. I just had that out, general ledger trial balance. Here we go. Now there's a couple ways to prepare this for submitting. You can do, like I showed the other day, a print, and then have it go to a PDF file, and then do OK. And what happens is that your printer button starts to flash at the bottom of the screen. when you open that up, then you can get a chance to name this. But what's nice about our software, well, that didn't work. Let me try that again. Oh, I'm out of the company altogether. Hold on. Yeah, all right. Well,
I'll figure it out.
yeah, I think you will. The other one is that there's a button. There's a button a little farther over to the right that just says PDF. And you
That's
can just,
generally where I go, but sometimes I'm not seeing that.
oh, okay, well then go to the print, and then where you normally see the printer, then click on the drop-down box and select PDF. And then another click or two away will be where you name the file.
Okay.
So printing to a PDF is pretty much what most of us do. The save button does not give you a PDF option. I don't know why. So when a lot of textbooks will say, hey, save this to a PDF, well, you can't. You go to save and there is no PDF option. So what they mean is print to a PDF file, and then you can submit. So on some of those reports, if there isn't a PDF button that's kind of in the top middle of the screen, then go over to the top left where it says print, and then the next drop, when you get the print screen, where you normally select your printer, that's where you'll select PDF file. And then it'll direct you to, now sometimes it looks like nothing is happening when you select that PDF file and you hit print. Take a look at the bottom of your screen when that's happening, and there's probably something flashing at the bottom telling you to name that file. And then you should be pretty comfortable where you are. So anyway, so that's pretty much it for chapter 13. So that makes sense?
Yep.